really none of your business. It's none of my business.
Hello, bonsoir, folcha, and welcome to the Motivated Classroom. Today is day 22 of the August Spotlight, and we are focusing on the wonderful episode 118 with La Maestra Loca, Annabelle Williamson. It was brilliant, just so lovely to talk to her about the importance of positive emotions, joy, and happiness in the language classroom and how much that helps us with acquisition. Now, I feel under a bit of pressure in this video because Annabelle's content is always so good on Instagram and so lively and so engaging with lots of cool stuff going on, and mine is not. So hopefully you stay to the end of this because it's all about the great things Annabelle said. Please make sure you go back and listen to this before your school year starts if you are in the Northern Hemisphere, and if you're coming back in the Southern Hemisphere, listen to this episode again, episode 118. Make sure you check it out. So a couple of things I really took out of this was just how interesting it was that Annabelle, I keep saying Annabelle, but I know she prefers La Maestra Loca, or both of them I think is fine. Annabelle, I hope that's okay. And I love the way she kept going back to the fact that like the world is a lot. There's a lot going on, and teaching is a lot. It's really busy. So why not center ourselves in a class that's like created out of joy and happiness? And therefore everyone's happier, everyone has a good time, acquisition becomes easier, especially in those younger levels when we don't need to focus on such difficult precision and grammar and accuracy until they have a bit of language first. So I just love this kind of quote from the beginning. She says, for me, I think that the world is a lot, and there's a lot going on all the time. Absolutely. One thing I know to be true is if I can create an environment where my students are excited to be in my classroom, even if it's just one part of their day, and they're like really excited about that, then that's a step in the right direction. If we can create classes where students are eager to be in them, the teaching part is easy. Also, the importance of dopamine, the happy brain chemical in our classroom. Dopamine can come from injecting joyful, fun activities, but can also come from creating systems and routines and structures that create an environment where students feel seen, heard, supported, loved, cared for, empowered in our space. So good, Annabelle. I can't believe you just kind of said that in a podcast interview. That was amazing. And then we had a really nice chat about reluctant learners. This is particularly, I think, key for those of us teaching middle schoolers or like right in the middle of puberty, so age 14, 15, 16, who maybe they were those super enthusiastic learners when you had them when they were age 11 and 12, and then suddenly they're a bit too cool for school and they don't want to do any of the co-creation, or they're like, oh no, I'm not doing this, and I thought that was really a lovely conversation about it. And La Maestra Loca said things like, apathy is real and we've seen it increase over time. But we just have to meet the kids where they are, and it's developmentally where they are. They're teenagers. Investing the time and being relentlessly positive. I love that she says that. Having a relentless positive regard for the students is really important, because adolescents are going through so much growth and change, specifically their brain development as well. If we're not coming to school with an unconditional positive regard for those students, then we're doing them a disservice and ourselves a disservice. Because if we're making that effort and it's continual, they're going to see that we are invested, truly invested in them as humans, as people first. And that's what they'll start to invest. That's when they'll invest back in our classrooms. And then she gave kind of like a really nice example of one student she has, and she's had this constant positive regard. And it took maybe half the year, but eventually he started to kind of lean in a little bit, have less kind of toxic language being used, and kind of a bit more interest in it. Because as she said, she was just relentless with like, I'm going to just keep being positive and keep doing the stuff with joy and happiness. And if you want to keep trying really hard not to engage in something that's joyful and happy, good luck with that. But eventually they kind of lean in and get involved. And then the next thing was about authenticity, which I think it's a lovely term and something I hadn't thought about. There's this really like toxic phrase in teacher training in Ireland. Well, there was like 15, 20 years ago, don't smile until Christmas. And that's true. Like many people who trained in Ireland will remember that. Essentially, like you got to be super strict to get their respect, and don't show them anything about you. Don't talk about your own life, like they're students, you're a teacher, and like you tell them stuff, and that's the way it is. And I always felt like a bit uncomfortable about that and like a bit weird. And now it's of course the total opposite that's true. That students need to see you as a human being and not just this power dynamic, this teacher telling them stuff to do. And that's when they lean in. Now, of course, it's context appropriate. So it's dependent on you and your school and your situation, how much of your life you talk about For me, I talk about my pets, I can talk about my daughter, the holidays I've been on, the silly things that have happened to me. Like I'm happy to share those things, but I might not share a huge amount about my brothers and sisters because I don't really want to, and that's fine. So you have to decide what are the things you're happy to share, but they need to know that you're a human, and I think that's important. So La Maestra Loca says things like, the other piece I talk all the time to teachers about is not just joy, but authenticity. I have hard days all the time. I'm authentically me in front of teachers and students no matter what. So when I'm having a hard day, the kids know, they feel it, and they'll ask me about it. But I'm also very intentional about inserting myself into the brain breaks that we're playing and being part of the classroom. When they're doing personalization and I'm asking about them, I'm sharing about me too. Not just because it brings me joy, but if they're not hearing the first person, grammatical first person, they're never going to produce the first person singular. So I talk about myself a lot. And that's how we create that environment and culture of belonging. So I love that. And then we spoke about learning and acquisition. Those people who say, but learning is hard and you got to think hard or else it's not going to happen. And but really acquisition is mainly implicit. We know this from the language acquisition research. And so we need them attending to those inputs that are interesting. And so Annabelle says, learning is hard. Acquisition doesn't have to be. Acquisition is going to happen so much faster and so much easier if the affective filter is low. Students feel motivated in our classes. It's going to be so much easier to acquire. Acquisition is subconscious, and the only way for me to make that happen is to create an environment where students are relaxed and motivated and want to engage with me. That's the beauty of teaching language. Acquisition shouldn't be hard is my argument. The other piece is, what do we want in our day-to-day? What do we want for our students? I want joy. I choose joy. I love that. So if I can do micro shifts, and I love the way she says that, micro shifts, I would call these tweaks, really small things in our practice that we change. We're not asking you to change everything completely, but really small little things, like just introduce one brain break to heighten the dopamine and lower the cortisol, then why not? Because if I can make it a little bit engaged for me and more fun, it's going to be better for them. And it's certainly going to be better for me because I can laugh in my day, and I'll take that. She's saying, like, why not have fun and joy when you can? Like, why not do that? And she's so right. Like, work is hard, work is long, work is tough, but the part of the work that I don't like is the responding to emails and writing reports and all the admin type stuff. But the actual in the classroom with the kids, if I could just do that, take away all the reporting and all the admin type stuff, best job in the world. But reality is, there's parts we don't like. So let's enjoy the bits we do like, being with the children and having fun with them. And finally, then she shared 3 amazing brain breaks: platos, rock, paper, scissors, and uno, dos, tres, dale, which is really nice, where you hold up a number on your fingers and the kids hold up a number, and then whoever can add them first wins, or they can do it as pairs or in triads as well. So a huge gracias to Annabelle La Maestra Loca. Thank you so much for sharing all that joy and positivity with me. Please go back right now and listen to episode 118 with La Maestra Loca.